Hello, everybody. Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching here, and another audio for you on the benefit of different things. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, comment, and interact with us here. We take psychological and emotional topics and break them down into simple language. That's the goal of the channel. If you know someone that would benefit, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Today, we're going to talk about signs that you've outgrown a friendship. It's never easy to outgrow a friendship, but there's usually four signs that most of the clients that I've worked with, and I've worked with over 12,000 people in some 40 countries over the last 13 years, there's usually about three or four signs that you've outgrown a friendship, and we're going to talk about those today. The first is death of trust. If you no longer trust your friend or the person that you're spending a lot of time with, if you start to question their motives, if you start to question how much time you're giving them and what they're giving back, if you feel like you're not getting a return on your investment at any level, and there are times, obviously, in every friendship where you give more than you receive. If someone's having a down day, if someone's going through a trauma, if someone's going through a separation, divorce, or moving house, or they're dealing with depression or dealing with anxiety or dealing with a change in their circumstances, obviously you're going to give more than you receive. But if for several weeks or several months, without change or alteration, you really question, why am I here? Like, what is this that I'm doing and why am I doing it? And I don't trust that this person has my best interest at heart anymore. The death of that trust is really the beginning of the end, if not the signaling of the end of the relationship. And unfortunately, many times, because we have a history with a person, and I can look at least two times in my own life, one with a partner and one with a best friend, where I held on for months longer than I should have because we had a history and I wanted to believe the best about the person. And we all do that, right? Like, especially if some of your best memories are with this person, or if you share a common business. If your best friend happens to be your partner, that can be even more challenging because now you might share a house with them or bills with them or children with them or whatever the case may be. But once that trust is gone, and I wish more people understood this, trust can be rebuilt only if both people are willing to work at it. And if you say to yourself, I'm okay, I forgive you, I trust you, and you're not really meaning it from the heart. And meaning it from the heart means you've actually taken time to contemplate what you're committing to. And it also means that you're really ready to let go of whatever that person did or didn't do. And so if you haven't done the reflective work on that and you say, I'm going to trust you anyway, it's a BS lie that ultimately is going to come back to bite you both. It's going to bite the other person because you're not giving them a free, clean slate. And it's going to bite you because you're living disingenuously. So if you really can honestly look at yourself in the mirror and say, I trust this person, and mean it, and you feel good on the inside when saying it, continue the friendship. But if you get to a place where I trust you isn't your reality, it's time to exit the friendship. Now, a second factor in outgrown friendships is when you don't make time for each other. Look, we all get busy, right? Like, especially different phases of life. When we go from high school to college, there's new responsibility. When we go from college into our first major job, there's new responsibility. If we're in a new committed relationship romantically, there's new responsibility. When we have children or buy a house, there's new responsibility. But if you have a friend that's in your inner circle, they're going to make time for you, even if that time is something as simple as a daily text message, uh, commenting on your social media posts, shooting you an email, sending you calling you just to leave you a message on your voicemail to let them know you're thinking of you. You're going to be a deliberate, on purpose part of their day or part of their week. When that stops, and it stops for an extended period of time without cause, so that is to say that there isn't like a trauma or a physical sickness the person's dealing with, when you're not making time for each other or you're the only one making time for that person, the friendship has been outgrown. It's dying. It's on its last legs. Now, that doesn't mean it can't come back to life, because there are times where enough space and time I have a mentor who says, "How can I miss you if you won't go away?" Um, so sometimes taking that time, be it a few weeks or a few months or even several years, can rejuvenate a friendship for later. But if there's no time being put in by both sides, that friendship is on its last legs at best and dead at worst. Um, so sometimes, and this is a big one too, what we want out of life changes. This especially happens when we grew up. Let's say we grew up poor, or we grew up in certain neighborhoods, and the people in the neighborhood aren't moving as quickly as we are, and we want different things out of life. We want more financial security, or we want an education, or we want more stable relationships, or we don't want the baby mama, baby daddy drama. And so we move away and we move into a new pathway. Well, if your best friend chooses to stay on the pathway you were on before getting the inspiration to move forward, that relationship will die as a result, because you can't live in two pathways, the pathway of the past and the pathway of the present into the future. It's very difficult, if not taxing, exhausting, and sometimes even emotionally unhealthy to try and live in two pathways. So if you notice that the people around you are going in another direction and you don't like the direction they're going, or you've had an epiphany that, like, hey, this ain't working, then chances are you've outgrown the friendships that come from where you were. And then that leads to new people. So when one friendship ends, it's because another series of them is about to be born. And this is what most people don't realize, is that as we evolve, the needs that we have in terms of from our friends, from our inner circle, even sometimes from what we consider family, or definitely what we consider a partner, will evolve. That's why I'm a big believer in the evolution of relationships being a necessary part of them lasting. That is to say, if you get married thinking that your partner isn't going to change or you're not going to change, you will end up divorced. Period. There is no, because both of you are going to change. It's the adaptation to that change that determines whether or not the relationship stays together, and friendships are the exact same way. It's the adaptation to the needs, wants, desires, focus, goals, and dreams of your friends and your inner circle that determines whether the relationship stays or not. Now, unfortunately, much like with family dynamics, especially more so now, although I read a study probably a couple of months ago. I wish I'd kept the link to the study because I would link it below. But there's a study that says 70% of our current society in Western civilization doesn't believe they even have one friend they can count on. I want you to think about that. 70%. That's almost 3 out of 4 people think that they don't have a best friend or someone they can count on in an emergency situation. That's really sad, and it leads to the isolation culture that we're in now. But and that makes us all the more likely to hold on to the friends we think we do have, and kind of have blind spots about whether or not this is this is something that we need to let go of or not. But in any event, I do have another video about this this topic in an offshoot that's going to go up in a little bit, about 4 things that, or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that kill friendships. That's going to go up next. So if this has been helpful to you, we'll look at 5 mindsets that kill friendships up next. But please, if I can help you to strengthen your relationships, feel free to reach out. Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Reach out on Twitter at PO Perception, and or here on YouTube, just drop a message in the little message box. We'll see what we can do for you. And until then, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.